Okay, so today is Thursday, August 28th. I was that close to saying October, but August 28th, 2025. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I don't know how well you can see out the window, but it is raining. I don't know if you can hear it, but I don't know, like it was coming down really hard a little bit ago. It seems it's lightened up a bit. That might just be because I'm under some trees, but we'll see how it goes. I definitely got a late start today, which I was talking to my sister about this the other day, that my alarm is set for 8:20, and it specifically was like 8:15 feels a little too early, but I don't know, 8:30, I could wake up a little earlier, and that 8:20 is a nice number. But for me, if I wake up at my alarm, I feel like I've slept in, because I usually wake up around 7:30-ish, sometimes earlier than that. Like this morning, I woke up at like 6 something, but I was like, I'm not getting out of bed. I was out of town for a couple days helping my sister with some stuff, and I'm just tired. I just kind of want to rest. I had some trouble falling back asleep, but I did, and then when I heard my alarm, I'm like, oh, okay, I need to wake up now. So, there's that. I guess a couple other it's a CTT video. It's all just going to be updates. But updates I forgot to write down. One of them is, I guess, just like contest stuff. Because I mentioned this before. I entered a manuscript into like a handful of writing contests, and this is essentially the week I'm going to hear back. It's it's technically next week. It's like Monday and Tuesday, but it's within these next few days. So one of them I heard back saying you are a finalist, which is really neat. So that means my understanding of how this contest works, because I'm at this point, I think I'm at least gonna make the long list, or it's here's all like the final people, and then from there, I don't know if it's everyone's gonna at least make the long. No, I don't think that would make sense. I think it's here's all our finalists, and then it's gonna be here's the long list, here's the short list, and then here's like our winners and such, as you know, and that's gonna keep going for a bit. I think that one, the long list, is announced September 1st, so by this time next week I'll know. There's another contest that I think we were supposed to hear back in June, maybe July, but they had said, like, look, there have been a lot of submissions this year, so you know, it's been a while, we've been pretty backed up. So that one, I think I will hear back. I think it's like if I'm on the long list, I'll know Monday. If I did it, but I at least made like the finalist kind of thing, I'll know on Tuesday. There's another contest that I'll hear back on Monday, which that one I'm really not expecting much from. And it's specifically because they don't offer feedback. Like, you can get reviews from people who use the site, but you don't get any actual judges' scores, which sucks. Because especially that's something I was really after, was the feedback. So I'm glad I got some reviews, and I found them, like, you know, helpful. They made me feel good. But I remember asking one year, I was like, why is there no like feedback? And it was like, oh, well, you know, some people are really sensitive and it hurts their feelings, so we don't share the judges' scores. I'm like, well, that sucks. I mean, I know I can be sensitive about that kind of thing, but it's also how I know what's wrong. Oh, sorry, I saw a light. I was like, that's not the sun rising. No, that's just headlights. I was like, that's how you understand what's wrong with your story. That's how you improve. Like the one I heard back from, where I'm making it to the next round, at least kind of somewhat, like, I'm really happy about that. But I got a lot of feedback throughout this specific contest saying, the prologue's good, but... And there are a few different ways I was hearing the but it was kind of but it was consistent. Which made me realize I need to redo the prologue, and then I redid the rest of the manuscript pretty quickly, because at that point there wasn't a whole lot to change, because previous edits had taken care of that. Is there another oh yeah, there's also another contest that I think I'm going to hear back on Tuesday, which was like, okay, you'll know if you make it to the next round if your score is in the top 10. And it's on a score of 1 to 10. Or it's like, like your scores are on 1 to 10, and the top 10 scores will move on to the next round. I'm like, okay, I have a 9 out of 10. That's a really good score. And for a good while, I was like, oh, okay, like I'm I'm very high on the list. But then some other scores were coming. It's like, all right, this one's a 10 out of 10. Okay. Here's a 9.7. Here's a few 9.5s. I'm like, okay, I went from like a real, like, I got this too. I'm kind of barely in there. I think the last time I checked was like a day or two ago. I'm tied for 7th, which I guess you could also say we're tied for 8th. So like, I'm in the top 7, 8. So I don't know, because there's still like a few days left. So it could be, it's like, yeah, there's a few days left, but you're fine. Or it might be like, yeah, you were fine, but there are a few that came out after that were just a bit better. And you know what? That sucks. But there's worse things that could happen. At the very least, like, look, I didn't make it to the next round. There were things that were better. I also know this was not the best draft of my story because I redid the prologue. Like, I redid the prologue. I made some other changes here and there that I think did make it stronger. And even that draft that wasn't as good as it could be still scored really well. It's still something I'm very happy with, and I'm very happy with the feedback I got. If it's an L, it's an L. I will take it. But if it's not, I'll take that too. Because that's the thing, it's a phrase I've heard a lot. It's like, you know, an L is only a loss if you don't get a lesson from it. And I think, at least with this one, the lesson for me to take is, this is really good as is. But just like, it's that version was still really good. Think about how much better it's going to be now that it's been improved, you know? And I like that. I guess another thing that I didn't write down was, I guess, just video updates. So the way I see it, I have 3, not including this one, 3 that I want to do that I haven't yet. So one is a football video, which I guess that's another thing I need to talk about, the Saints. But I want to do I want to do a video before the season starts, kind of going into what my vibes and picks are. But I'll be honest, like, I've been following the off season, but not as religiously as I did several years ago. Like, I'm still aware of a lot of the basic things that have been kind of happening. And it's kind of funny because a lot of that is like some of the big camp situations and holdouts where, I mean, like Scary Terry, he's been signed by the team, so nothing really happened. Hendrickson got signed by the Bengals, nothing really happened. The Bengals had that long holdout with their first round pick, but he signed. And then now there's Parsons. And as far as I am aware, as of this recording, he is yet to be signed. So we'll see how that goes, but it's one of those where I'm going to be honest, it's going to be a far more casual take. But even still, it's like, from my casual perspective, this is kind of the vibes that I have based on what happened last season, based on the moves that I am aware of this season, and just kind of the general vibes that I have. I'm still really, I know I got a lot of things wrong in my prediction last year. I didn't think the Commanders were going to be good. I was very wrong. I will eat crow on that. I thought Nick Sirianni would be the reason the Eagles could not win the Super Bowl. I will eat crow on that. I am also very proud of saying, look, the Bengals are going to lose to the Patriots week 1. They're going to miss the playoffs by 1 game, and this is going to be the game that everyone remembers as the reason why the Bengals didn't make the playoffs. Called it. I said Denver was going to make the playoffs. And even I was like, this feels like a crazy out there pick, but I feel really weirdly confident about Denver. I was right. So we'll see where I go, like where my vibes are. But I do want to do one of those, because I've done it the last few years with Chris, and I'm hoping we can still do that. We'll see if we can get a time like Friday or Saturday. If not, then it is what it is, but I'm hoping we can. So there's that. Number 2 is Ward. So I haven't read any Ward this week. I guess I'm taking a short break. And this is just going to be like I was out of town. I didn't really get around to it. So I'm just kind of taking this week off. I want to get back to it next week. This is not going to be I'm not going to read Ward for a while. It's just like a quick few things. I might even start it sometime like today or tomorrow, at least get a little bit done this week. But I need to do my video on Arc 3 because I did finish it. Arc 3 is pretty good. The other thing is Digimon Survive, because here's the funny thing. The other day, it was, I think it was Sunday. I had sat down, I had started recording, and I got about 40 minutes into the video. But then I got interrupted by some stuff that happened. And what was frustrating, but admittedly funny about it, was the person that interrupted me essentially just like walked into the room half naked and was like, hey, I'm about to do something. Like, let me know if I shouldn't do it because it might disturb you. I'm like, well, I mean, you just kind of did. And then after that, I was like, I am like so off and thrown off by this. Like everything I had is gone. And I was so close to being done with the video too. I probably had like 5, 10, maybe about 15 minutes or so, maybe a little less. I was like, I was so close. Now I gotta do it again. And so there's that part of me that's like, do I really want to do all that again? Yes, because I do want to talk about it. Or, I don't know, maybe there's a way I could salvage what I already had and just, like, do the rest afterwards. We'll see. For once, you might actually see a video with editing in it. But, I don't know, because I guess the short version is like, look, I really like Digimon Survive, but there are aspects of the game that I don't care for. Or at the very least, like, this is the game I was hoping to get. This is the game I got. And there's a lot of overlap, but there are some things that don't overlap that I don't care for. And I do want to talk about it, because I care about the game enough. I'm like, I do want to really get my thoughts out about it. But we'll see. I mean, that might be another thing I do this weekend, or maybe I'll get interrupted again. We'll see. But that's just some other stuff. In terms of writing, I've gotten a little bit of Isla writing done. I was just kind of going over some earlier chapters. I have started Orcal Book 2, which essentially, because the way Book 1 is constructed is very much, it's very tightly plotted, because everything is happening at the same time in more or less the same location. So it's very much like, okay, when this is happening, this needs to be happening. Like, for me, so putting it all in one document works and makes sense to me. Here, we now have multiple stories happening in completely different locations. So while there's still kind of an overall timeline in that this story and this story will need to intersect at this point on like this day, that's not going to be for another book or two. So if I kind of just keep them separate and just say, okay, this is your story, this is your story, and then when it's time, figure out a way to kind of pace the chapters out in a way that feels satisfying to read, that's the best way for me to do it. So I did go ahead and start one of them, and it's really interesting because a good chunk of this has already been written, but that was before substantial edits were made to book 1, to the point where starting off like one character's story, before, like, there's a bit of a, there's like a little bit of a recap of her being like, all right, this is kind of what happened in the last book. This is how I'm feeling. Cool, let's get going. And that was like 3 paragraphs. Now it's like 3 pages, because like a good chunk of it is like, okay, this is all the shit that happened in the 3rd act of the 1st book. And it's a lot. Like, really looking at it from her perspective, yeah, there's a lot that happened to her and that she experienced. And her not being okay with all of it, understandably so. Plus, and then it's her talking to her best friend and kind of decompressing about some of it, but also seeing the changes in their relationship and the changes she wants to have in their relationship, or maybe doesn't. And like, this bit here would not have happened in the previous version, and now it feels like it makes no sense if it doesn't happen. Which is why I really wanted to reread book 1 before getting back into book 2. So like, I'm glad I did that. So there's that. I've commissioned a book cover for it. We'll see how it goes, because I'd commissioned this book cover from this artist before, and they just didn't take the commission. And I was like, oh, well, that sucks. So then I was looking around, Like, here's an artist I like, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to quite work. I don't think it's going to quite work. And then I found someone that I really liked the art style for, was really unique, and was negotiating with them for a bit. And, like, we had an agreement, but the price was really high. And I was like, okay, well, so we negotiated, and I got it down. It was still really high, but something that was a lot more affordable. We were good to go. And then I get told, actually, like, some things just, like, came up, not going to be available for this. I'm like, well, like, that sucks. Like, I hope everything is okay, but dang it. So then I realized the person that I had, like, initially wanted to commission was available. So I'm like, all right, well, let me just send it to them again, because maybe they'll take it now. Oh, they did. Okay. Like, that was, I kind of wasn't expecting that, but all right, like, let's see how that goes. So that's kind of fun. I think I mentioned a few weeks ago that I was trying to sell some of my figures. Maybe I didn't, but I am trying to sell some of my figures. And I got an update yesterday. One of them has officially sold. So probably tomorrow I'm going to mail it out. Like, I need to go to the post office at some point today. But gonna try to get that taken care of. So I have some friends that are starting to play Metaphor, and I think I mentioned that last week, because I think I learned about it like the previous Wednesday or so, but they're playing Phantasio, and I'm really excited. They just got to Shinjuku yesterday, which was my favorite part of the game, because I had so much fun, because the way I played that dungeon was, for most of it, I was out of MP, so I'm like, okay, I want to maximize my time, so I'm going to get as far into the dungeon as I can, but I have no MP to fight anything. So I'm playing this like it's a survival horror game. And anytime I find an item, I have to beeline to it and grab it, because items are autosaves, meaning they're kind of mini checkpoints. And doing that was incredibly fun. So really happy for them. The demo to the FC remake came out, and I played a bit of that. And there's a lot more for me to play, but I've loved it so far. It's been so nice to get my hands back on Trails, like getting back into it, because I still haven't played Kai, and I didn't end up getting a Switch 2, so I haven't really played Bonanza yet. But I feel like I'm good on Bonanza. Like, at some point, especially when I get a Switch 2, hopefully at some point, I want to play through it. But I've watched people play it, and I've, like, you know, had the sticks passed a couple times, so I'm like, I feel like I got what I needed for now, but I will do it on my own at some point. But man, like, I still haven't played Kai. At some point I will. Maybe it will just be next year. I'm really excited to play the FC remake. And then Silent Hill comes out right after. I'm so excited for Silent Hill F. And then when that's done, okay, I mean, it's a Silent Hill game. That shouldn't take super long, but then again, Sky's gonna be a while. But essentially it's Sky, Silent Hill, and then Pokemon, like, back to back to back. And, like, all these Mega Evolutions had already been leaked. But, man, I don't know about Dragonite. Like, I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's like, he's a big silly boy, and I don't mind that. It's just a little, like, this is it? Okay. But then I see Victory Bell, and he's beautiful. It's just, feed me, Seymour. Like, I can't not think of Audrey 2 when I look at it. I love this thing. And today we saw Hawlucha. I'm like, yeah. Nacho Libre looks cool as hell. I really love this thing, man. So it's Pokemon. You know I'm super excited for it. So, while I was hanging out with my sister, I did watch a few things. So I finally started season 2 of Dan. I think I watched 5, maybe 6 episodes. So I still haven't watched any more Victory Gundam. I want to, I'm very excited to, and Clay has now started Unicorn, which is my favorite Gundam series. So I'm watching a little bit of Unicorn with him. Want to watch more Victory, but I think I'm going to just say, okay, let me go and knock out Dan, because I'm almost done with it. I also watched the first 3 episodes of Arcane Season 2. Finally. So I might say, okay, let's do Dan, let's do Arcane, then we get back into Gundam. I also watched the first episode of To Be Hero X, because my sister really liked it, and she'd been kind of wanting me to watch it. I liked it fine. I think it's interesting. I say that in a way that makes it sound like it's interesting, but whatever. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I think of the art style. I think it's an interesting idea, there's that word again, of, you know, the 3D, but there's times where it goes 2D. I really like how the 2D looks. The 3D, I think, looked okay. Like, not bad, but, like, not ugly by any means, but I wasn't like, man, this looks great. Like, I don't know. It just wasn't hooking me. I think as a premise, there's something interesting here, but I think there was several years ago, I remember reading a Cracked article, and it was something along the lines of, movies so good, they kind of invalidate the rest of their genre. And I was actually watching a video yesterday, I think. It was about video game sequels that were so good, they kind of killed the series. Because no other game in the series was really, not, it was a combination of couldn't replicate the magic, but also, what do you do from here when you kind of perfected everything in game 2? And I feel like Worm possibly did that for me for superheroes. Because I'm like, now anytime I see a superhero thing, I'm going to think about, especially if it does the, like, you know, it's a business, it's very competitive, blah, 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 blah. And like, here's some of the cool, unique powers and the way that, you know, heroes have to appeal to the public and all that kind of stuff. And even the idea of like manufactured superheroes and also, you know, like how they relate to the public, but also, you know, all the shit going on behind the scenes. I'm like, so Worm kind of did that already. And I know there's other things that do that. I talked about one of the reasons I like My Hero so much is being in law school while watching it, like two very hyper competitive, you know, fields, made me enjoy it a bit more. But I'm like, so I get a lot of that from Worm, and Worm has some of the most like wild out there powers I have ever seen. And the lore is like so insane, but I also still really love the character stuff. So what is this gonna offer me that I haven't already seen? And I think that's kind of where I'm at with it. And granted, I've only seen one episode. For all I know, it's like, no, this is really good. It's really cool. Here's what's really unique. Or, you know, maybe it doesn't have anything that's super unique, but it's still really well done. But like, I remember saying when I watched K-pop Demon Hunters, like, yeah, this is fun. I'm enjoying it. But I've seen this idea done before, and I've seen it done perfected. Like, I watched Hi Hi Puffet Ame Yumi, which was fun. I liked it. But I've seen Symphogear, which is this idea on crack, and it's insane. And one of the coolest, most fun things I've ever watched. So, I'm sorry, like, I'm watching something and thinking, this is good, but I've seen it perfect. And I don't know, it's, I do want to check out more To Be Hero X, and I don't want to just be like, wow, Worm's better the entire time, but I don't know, there might be a point where I'm like, no, this is its own thing, it rules, I need to keep watching it, but we'll see. But I think I want to do Dan to Dan first, Arcane, and at some point I still need to watch Pokemon Horizons, and at some point I still need to watch Victory Gundam. I don't know what it is that keeps me from watching Victory, especially because I started, it was like, this is awesome, but I don't know. We'll see. I guess a couple other quick things is, number one, I don't think I mentioned this before. So I learned there's a crossover comic series between Friendship is Magic and Transformers. And that's great. There's this one panel that I saw, and it's just of Queen Chrysalis riding Tank Megatron with the biggest grin on her face. I'm like, yo, that face is the face I'm making reading this. And there was another one with like Soundwave hanging out with Fluttershy and Discord, and he does the Soundwave Superior, and instead it's Friendship Superior, and I just found that really funny. Yeah, I've been having a good time with it, and I had one come in the mail the other day. I was out of town, so I'm hoping to read it today or tomorrow or so. Yeah, it's not like, oh man, there's a really interesting story going on. It's more just like small little vignettes of the main six interacting with Decepticons and shit. It's kind of fun. Oh yeah, and the other short thing is I learned about something called Weaver Dice, which is the Parahumans tabletop. So I haven't looked more into it yet, but the fact that this exists is awesome, because I was talking about that in my recent Word video. It's like, man, like a fighting game, a TCG, a tabletop. I need something. And I'm like, okay, so it does. I don't know, thinking of the M&M's commercial. It does exist. They do exist. So I don't know. I'm gonna look into it more. And I have a friend that's really into tabletops and really into Parahumans. He got me into the series, so I know he would be down for it. Like, could we get a game going? I don't know, but it would be kind of fun. Maybe it's how I can convince more people to read Worm. Like, hey, you guys want to do a superhero tabletop? Okay, here's the source material. Oh, like 50 hours. Gosh, how long was Worm? I don't know. It's like, here's the source material. You don't have to read it, but when an Endbringer shows up, this will give you context for how bad that is. I don't know, but I think that's it for this one. Y'all have a good day. Have a good week. Oh, right. The end of August. And August in review. I always forget to do this. I don't know. I feel like this month, a lot of what I did was just, I'm going to take this manuscript. Or no, a lot of it I think was, I'm going to fix this ding-dang prologue. Okay, now I'm going to speed run the rest of the manuscript. And I did. Like, I started Victory Gundam, and I watched a few other things. I don't think I played anything. Yeah, what the hell did I do in August? I don't really know. But I don't think it was a bad month. I feel like, generally, work has gone pretty well. I feel like I was able to consistently go to the gym, or at least take a walk. Got a lot of writing done. Didn't really play a lot, didn't really watch a lot, but I started reading Ward, and I've been enjoying it quite a bit. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then looking ahead to September, I don't really know. Again, it's the Sky remake. So, the Sky remake comes out, and then a few days later, I'm going to go to California for a couple weeks, so I'm not really going to get to play a whole lot of it, which for me is a big reason why I want to get the demo done, because that's the entire prologue. Excuse me, and then hopefully before I leave, I can get a chunk of Chapter 1 done. And then when I get back, I try to blitz through Sky, then get into Silent Hill, because at that point, the game will be out. And I'll be like, I need to get through this, and I need to get through this so I can get to Pokemon. Or I might just go Sky, Pokemon, because Sky might take that long. And I get Silent Hill. Clay might already get Silent Hill, so I'll just borrow his copy if that's the case. But I think September is going to be California at the end. And then for the first few weeks, I don't know. I guess trying to watch some of these shows that I mentioned, getting more writing done. It's going to start with hearing back on some of these contests, which is either going to be really good, really disappointing, or like, that kind of sucks. But here's the feedback I can take from this. And some of it I might have already put into the more recent revision. Some of it might be that, okay, this is new and something for me to look at. And ways to make it better. So I think that's about it. See you. Oh! I didn't really take this pin out to talk about the Saints. This is going to be really short. I don't think I'm looking forward to this season. I say that, and for all I know, I'll be like, wait a second, we're really good this year. Didn't see that coming. Thanks, Kellen Moore. Thanks, Rattler. Or maybe he gets benched and Shuck ends up coming in and balling out, but like, we'll see what happens. But I'm like, man, I feel like this is the first season in a while where I just haven't been excited. Because, you know, when Breeze's start, I was excited every year. And then the first year without Breeze, I'm like, well, you know, the team has still been, like, the rest of the team is still good. I am excited to see Jameis play, and we were good for a while, and then Jameis got injured. And then after that, I was like, all right, well, things are going to be different, but hey, let's see what Dennis Allen can do. Like, we have a new coach. We lost our Super Bowl winning head coach. Let's see what happens. You know, maybe this can be good. Okay, that was like mediocre and we should have been better, but hey, you know, it's a first year. We just got Derek Carr. I know Carr is not the best, but he's still a good QB. Maybe this could be really good. Wow, we are still mediocre. And then last year was, okay, I'm not hyped. I'm not super excited, but I don't know, man. Like, I just want to watch some football. Maybe, like, with another year in the system, like a new OC, because Carmichael was not it. Maybe this is what we need. And those first 2 weeks were miracles. And then just, ugh. And now it's like, well, a new QB situation, a new coach. I should be excited, but I'm like, man, I'm just not. They're still my team. I'm not going to root against them. I'm not going to be like, they suck. Let's be a Bills fan for a while. Like, look, I'm still going to enjoy the Bills. I'm still probably going to be rooting for the Bills in the AFC. Like, don't get me wrong. But this is still my team. But, man, this might be a long season. I was talking to Chris. I was like, look, we might go 2-15 this year, but beat the Falcons twice, so I'll take it. Like, look, no matter how bad we are, as long as we beat the Falcons, I'll take it. But I don't know, we might not even get that. I was seeing a rumor that the Saints might trade for Cousins from Atlanta. Like, that, what? That feels so weird. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'll see it.